broadcasting through the depths of outer space.
Hello, I'm alive. I don't know what's going on.
By your command.
Fascinating.
God damn you all to hell!
It's the Solar Sci-Fi Podcast. Well, hello, and this is episode 94 of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. I'm back again. I'm Michael Ball, aka Coclud, and with me once again is the deep thought, the epitome of sci-fi knowledge in this time and space and universe. It is from Martin's Sci-Fi Appeal on YouTube, Martin Fowler. Hello, Martin. What's the matter, mate? You alright? You eat a dodgy kebab or something?
I had a major cringer danger then.
Oh dear, we don't want that. How are you? How's it going?
I'm alright. The big thought of the universe is here on the show tonight, so you know.
You could be like known as the monolith of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast.
No, fucking. So what? I'm gonna sit here in a fucking black monolith costume with my head sticking out.
You never know, especially with your what's it called? That what's that term you have for dressing up? I can't think of it. Cosplay, whatever it is.
Cosplay.
You could go along. We could sort of like go in. You could get a big black rectangle box and stick a little sort of your head through it, and you could have your arms through it, and you could go to a convention as the monolith.
Actually, do you know?
That's quite a funny idea, isn't it?
Actually, I will say to my Solar One partner, you are a fucking genius.
It wouldn't cost you anything, would it?
I will say, you are a true fucking genius, because in all the conventions I've been to, I've never seen anybody
dressed as the monolith. They could do it.
And it's sheer genius, but how do you go to the toilet? I mean, do you...
Unless you tie a bottle on it. Oh, no, I'm not going to go there. With elastic band or something.
With that fucking thing on you.
Well, I mean, after the how do they go to the loo in X-wings on Star Wars? You got to think about how do you go to a sci-fi convention as the monolith.
I went to Klingon Banquets about 10 years ago, and I was dressed as Q. I bought a Q outfit,
I think I saw that. I've seen that on your page.
I was absolutely hammered, and I went to the toilet because I had a pair of shorts underneath the dress.
Yes.
So I had to lift it up. You know, he said to me, "Is that how Q has a piss?" And it was quite. I had to actually, I had to lift it all up.
Was it an omnipotent piss?
An omnipotent moment, yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, I can imagine that. That would have been sort of like something you could see on.
Next time I'm going to wear a nappy. So.
Or a diaper, as they say.
Yeah,
now. I had a nice experience on YouTube this week. I got called an old man by a troll. Somebody somebody said basically, because it was something I put on, and somebody says this is good, and somebody says this isn't his. This material isn't from him. He's just an old man. And I thought to myself, you don't get that. Most people, I mean, I don't get trolled very often, and of course this person was blocked straight away and goodbye and never seen them again.
Yeah, you do right. That's
but I don't get that very often, and most people are pretty good on YouTube, at least on my channel. I know you have one or two people on yours who can be a bit, sometimes go a bit too far.
I mean, block them.
I don't blame you. I can't be dealing with it.
When I first started this, I got something about. I did something about Doctor Who. Somebody just said something, and. I got really upset about him. My brother said to me, "Don't." He said, "Just
don't go. Don't react to it. Yes, block them.
You're never gonna fucking meet him." So
no, yeah, exactly. And if you don't react to them,
I nearly packed it in, and then I got another one a few years later, and he just said something, and I blocked him, and I thought, well, they don't have to watch,
No, no.
What I do is I check their channel.
I tried that as well, but I couldn't find this person's channel.
Most of them.
It's like a user. So you're going to the user, but this person's channel, I couldn't find it.
You're all right criticising people like us, but you're not doing it.
And when you got no subscribers, and my channel's got 81,000 subscribers, basically, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean?
Fuck them.
When I get my silver YouTube plaque and everything and have it on my wall, and you can look at your one subscriber and you can feel very smug, can't you, mate? To piss off.
Well, yes, that's right. So I look at it and then I think, well, fuck them.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting upset about it.
No, you're right. I know you said this before.
2 in the 4 or 5 years I've been doing.
I've not had many. I've not had many. So it's kind of. I suppose
I don't get. You say because I don't get into politics, religion, and all.
No, and I don't either. I don't. But you're still somebody always out there who's negative about something. If it was my channel, I don't make money out of it. It is fun. It is to give people a laugh. Is my primary objective of this channel, and I managed to achieve that. And you do the same with yours. I always love your content. You know,
I got a guy when I was doing a live stream, and they were going on about people like he had a girlfriend from another country. He started being quite derogative, so I just blocked him. And I said to him, I'm not having that on here.
No,
because I'm here to talk about fucking science fiction, not about you dickhead politics.
I mean, we talk about we do have a little chat before we go into our subject, but it's kind of like we know where to go and not go too far.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, we could talk about Jimmy Corkhill on Brookside. He's a very interesting.
Yeah, we could go on all night about.
No, Jimmy. I'll say Jimmy Corkhill this week. He's on the drugs, and now he's stealing from people's houses to get some money. And in the bottom corner, you'll see here, this side, Jimmy Corkhill is running away after he's broken in from the house this week. Poor Jimmy Corkhill.
Has little Jimmy turned up yet?
We saw little Jimmy for one episode about a year away. He was on Grange Hill, the guy that's in.
Yeah.
But I know he's coming back.
We need to get a fucking life. Really.
No, I know. I contacted this guy who's done his interviews with people on Brookside, and I said, look, maybe in the future, and he hasn't replied. I hope he does, because we're doing the odd special, like we're doing Alvida St. Pet next week. Is we could do a Brookside special. I'd love to do a Brookside special.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
So hopefully at some point.
I'm a big fan of Barry and Sarah.
Yeah, I just think it's just such a well-made series.
This is how sad I am. You should watch the Brookside spin-off movies.
I've heard about them. I'm going to once I go through the rest of it. Yeah, I'm going to. But it's a great series.
That's how fucking sad I am. I rented them out and watched them.
And at the end of this show, we are going to have, because this is our last recorded show, let's be honest. Next week is one we recorded ages ago. But we're going to end with Julia Brogan, who is a nosy neighbour, gossipy old lady on Brookside, singing Silent Night, just to wish you a happy Christmas. So we'll do that at the end.
One more thing on Brookside. Has the machine gun scene been on where Jimmy Corkhill gets? Have you seen that?
No spoiler. No, I don't know any spoilers. I don't remember. Right. Oh, I don't know. Actually, Jimmy Corkhill. No, I don't know. Don't tell me. Don't tell. Because I saw this thing bloody 30 years ago, and I only remember bits of it. But it's good. I'm so sad. I'm so sorry. But it's better than anything that's on
I don't want to wake up one day and there's 10,000 episodes of fucking Brookside. Oh, there, you know.
You never know if it magically appears, as these things tend to do on your web pages. Then yes, you should keep an eye out for Jimmy Corkhill. Shall we go into our focus of the week? This is gonna be a funny one. It's gonna be a good one. Here we go.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi
focus of the week.
Now, about a year ago, before Christmas, I was trying to look for a Christmassy film in the sci-fi genre, and I really couldn't find many. And the one that sprung to mind was Gremlins, because it in many ways, it's set during Christmas. It does have that Christmassy sort of feel to it, and that's why we used it. So this year, because I still couldn't find any Christmassy films, at least anything I wanted to do, although maybe I should have done Scrooged. I don't know, Scrooge should be sci-fi.
We could have done Santa Claus Conquers Mars. That's a good one. It's British.
Well, all right, next year. Right, next year, if you remind me, we'll do that. But for this year, because it has some parallels with Gremlins, we're going to do Critters, which is, I thought, quite a fun movie. And it also features the guy on it who was on the Orville, which is Scott Grimes. So have I hit the jingle yet? I don't know. Did I hit the jingle or not?
Yeah, you said focus of the week. And
yeah, okay. So let's ask you then. Let's go straight into it. So you must have seen Critters. What do you think of Critters?
I saw Critters on the. There was another version of Critters called Ghoulies.
Oh, I want to see that.
Where they're sticking its head out of the toilet. It's more demonic.
Really?
And I rented them two out together at the time.
Oh, okay. Like a sort of like.
Yeah, and it was like a Critters. Like Critters rips off Gremlins, and
Yes, it
Ghoulies
did.
rips off Critters. But I remember the first film. And I
made loads
thought
of
it was
films.
Great, it was a great film. I like the Bounty Hunters from outer space.
One of them was actually Ethan Phillips, who played Neelix on Starship
Really?
Voyager. He was one of the bounty hunters in the first one. Keeps changing his form. He
Yeah,
can't
he got
decide.
eaten, didn't he?
Did he get eaten? Yeah, something happened to him. Yeah, I think he did.
Then the critters formed the thing called the Death Wheel or something.
The giant critter. Yeah.
From what I remember.
But at one point, the other bounty hunter, not the one that's a pop star, the one he ends up as Ethan Phillips, who of course played Neelix on Critters. So, did you see all the sequels as well, or do you think
I think I've seen up to about Critters 4 or 3. I think there's been 5 movies. There might have
something
been
like
more.
that? I think this has been a more recent one as well.
No, I'd say up to 3. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think I've gone beyond
I never
that.
got. I think I'm about the same because I liked
They
the
just
first
got
one.
worse. They were
Second one was
cheap.
all right, but then after that, it kind of like it's one of those things. I mean, like Gremlins only made one sequel, which had Robert Picardo in it. Again, another character.
He was superb in that.
From Voyager. He was very good. And the sequel to that I thought was very good in New York, and it was all starting off again.
Yeah.
But Critters, I mean, I know we're going to focus on Critters, but which one would you say you prefer, Critters or Gremlins? Or do you think they're about the same?
That's a bit of a tough one. I'd have to say Gremlins got its mainstream, and there were more money. There were more quality with Gremlins, but as like you are and me, we're like fans of the VHS genre.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm gonna go for Critters actually.
Are you going for
Because
Critters?
it's got that subculture to it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I like the fact that, because it had some. It was obviously a bit darker, a bit more sort of adult in tone compared to Critters.
Well, I mean, the concept
Gremlins.
the same, wasn't it? When a town in America, these things crash land there and they start going on a devastating path. Aren't the prisoners or something that take over?
Yeah, they're called Krites or something, and
Yeah.
they escape from a penal colony, I think.
And they eat everything, don't they?
They
They're very malevolent.
But they don't sort of like replicate like the Gremlins do. They eat, and
No.
some of them get bigger, but then
Yeah.
they just want to eat. But they don't all grow in size.
Wasn't there a human-sized one running about?
Yeah, there was in the first
There
one.
was,
There's
wasn't
one.
there?
There's one for some reason
Coming
that
out.
gets bigger, and it gets bigger than a human. But it doesn't explain why it gets bigger than the others are still the same size. Maybe it's
Yeah,
like a queen or something, or some
Yeah.
sort of.
And,
It would
the
like a
two-
bit more explanation about that, really.
And the two bounty hunters turn up, and there's that nerdy guy in the town that gets picked on.
Called
all the
Charlie, yeah, and he's always like on the drinking, and he ends up being copied by the bounty hunter, and then eventually,
Yeah.
in later films, he joins them. He goes off into space with them.
Yeah,
which is
because they
fun.
give him a device to contact him, don't they? if
That's
they
it.
ever
I
come
think
back.
he goes
Yeah,
off
at
in the
end, I
second one.
remember
Yeah,
that,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And also Scott Grimes, who of course it's strange seeing him now because he was of course on the Orville. He plays, I can't remember the name of the character on the Orville, but Scott Grimes is on the Orville now as one of the main.
Yeah.
What's the? The one I mean. I don't know what character he plays on. I can't remember many of the actual characters on the Orville, but he's the cheeky one on the bridge.
Him with the beard.
Yeah, has he got a beard? Yeah, he has got a beard. Yeah.
He's the one where Isaac chopped his leg off as a joke.
Yeah, but I just cannot remember his character's name. I'm sorry. I should know that
Was he
actually.
in that? He must
Yeah,
have been a kid.
he was a kid. He was the kid. He was the kid of the family and he appeared in the second one, and he was a bit older the second one. I think they had like a 2 or 3 year gap between production of the first one and the second one. But I remember just watching this, and I just thought it was really quite a cool film. I just liked it that it's I don't know. I liked it because of Gremlins. I think because it had that similar feel of these tiny creatures who are deadly and they want to, but I don't know, it just had a parallel to it. But they're more like alien gremlins, weren't they, rather than gremlins who are from Earth kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're not affected by water. But so, I mean, I was looking here and on the Wikipedia, it says that, I'll just quickly read it out for people's reference. It says, Critters is a 1986 American science fiction comedy horror film directed by Stephen Herrick in his directorial debut. I can never say that. And co-written by Dominic Moore and Don Keith Oper. It stars Dee Wallace, who I know from quite a few other things, M. Wallet Walsh, Billy Greenbush, and Scott Grimes in his film debut. So that goes back to Scott Grimes. The plot follows a small group of furry aliens with carnivorous behaviour escaping from two shape-shifting bounty hunters, landing in a small countryside town to feast on its inhabitants. And it says, although widely believed to have been inspired by the success of Joe Dante's 1984 Gremlins, Herrick has refuted this in interviews, pointing out that the script was written by Moore long before Gremlins went into production and subsequently underwent rewrites to reduce the apparent similarities to the two films. The film grossed $13.6 million during its release in the US and spawned a Critters franchise consisting of 3 sequels and a web series titled Critters: A New Binge, released on Shudder. A 5th entry, Critters Attack, serves as a reboot of the series. So there's been quite a few. I've not seen all those, obviously.
No, I haven't.
But it spawned a lot of obviously sequels.
I didn't know. I thought that one went straight to video. I didn't. So that went to the cinema.
Yeah, I think I remember it being in the cinema. I don't think it was just a VA. I think Ghoulies. I think Ghoulies was just a.
Ghoulies, definitely.
But I think Critters was a bit bigger than that. Well, maybe it was
Right,
over.
but
It might have been. Well, no, it might have been just straight to video in the UK.
Actually, I think Ghoulies was at the cinema. Actually, I remember at the ABC. I remember the poster. I never forgot the poster of that thing sticking out of the toilet.
Oh.
That was like the definite picture of it, this green thing sticking out of the toilet, you know. So I'm going to have to watch them again. But I didn't know Critters were at the cinema. I thought it was straight to video.
It says release here. It said Critters was theatrically released on April the 11th, 1986 by New Line Cinema, opening across the United States in 633 theatres. It earned 1.6 million in its opening weekend and ultimately grossed 13 mil in the box. So it was a proper cinema release. I don't know about the UK though. Oh, here we are. Home video. The film was released on VHS and with Laserdisc home video after its theatrical release in September 1997. New Line re-released it on VHS. I don't know, but this is obviously talking about the American side. It might have been different over here. I don't know. I don't know. Straight
a lot of their stuff did go straight to video. Where a lot. I think
I saw it.
You don't realise it went to one of their cinemas over there. You don't. Because I assumed it was made for video.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I saw it. I think I got it out from a video store because you did. I mean, over here we didn't just have blockbusters. We used to get these like news agents which had like video sections and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, we had that. Yeah,
it was mostly that.
Or a garage.
Yeah, something like that. And I remember in Roehampton where I used to live, there was a news agent which had a video thing, and I used to get them from there. And I'm sure that's where I saw it.
Yeah, it was sort of like when Ritz's and Blockbusters come in. That's when they started adding out refreshments and that. They made it into like a cinema thing.
That was the latter side of VHS, which I think.
Yeah, well, right.
I think that came about late 80s was Blockbuster.
Yeah, that's when it all went to a new level.
And that's when it was different, and that's just when VHS started to turn into DVDs.
Yeah, and
then that's when it started to change, and then of course digital stuff.
I'll tell you something. Never had the Laserdisc. Never had a laser. They were too bloody expensive, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, and it's a shame. It was the first HD quality thing. But then the thing is, the TVs weren't so good because, of course, they were 4x3 size TVs anyway. So if you watched and so the screen would be small, and if it was a proper cinema format, it'd be tiny. Anyway, that's why it wasn't. It's only now that most screens now are huge. Plus their 16:9 ratio, that you can get these films in HD because you can really appreciate it, and especially with the sound systems.
I did think I did about a year ago. I did think about buying a Laserdisc. I did. Honestly, I did. Yeah, out of curiosity, because I've never had one. You can pick them up cheap and get the films. I
was going to say, what is a Laserdisc picture compared to, say, Blu-ray? Is it better?
I don't think there's no comparison. I think Blu-ray just all over it. You know, I think like Laserdisc were more DVD quality, very high DVD.
Oh yeah. Of course,
I think I watched these Laserdisc collectors on YouTube, but apparently once you put the bloody film in, you've got to turn it over.
I can't stand that.
I don't think I want to get off the couch and then turn it over to watch the other half. I was just curious about them.
I think
because
it'd be nice
young
to
at
check
the
it
time.
out. Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Because I remember them when they come out, they were about £600-700, and I would have been early 20s. I mean, that were a lot of money. That
It was.
and I didn't have that type of.
That's why I never took off. It's too expensive. That's why.
Yeah,
and of course,
it's a shame, really.
And I always like those, because obviously they look like vinyl, but they're reflective like CDs, and they always look really cool. The discs, didn't they? Or the,
They did. Yeah, it looked like albums, didn't they? Like
yeah, they look like vinyl albums. They're exactly the same size, but they were more reflective. And
did you know? I know it's going off topic of it, but did you know that vinyl records? There was an experiment where they actually tried vinyl records and they put films on them.
No, was there enough space?
Check out a channel called Techmon. A guy called Techmon, and he bought one of these devices where you put in a vinyl record and you can watch a film.
Wow.
They actually tried it. I think one of these. I think it was Philips or something like that. They actually released this device in some country. It never took off, but it's a vinyl album, and instead of music, it's a film on it.
Wow.
I never knew about that. There's so many different formats back then. It was crazy.
It's amazing, isn't it? That is interesting.
If I find the video, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it'd be good. We'd like to check that
It's a
out.
guy called Techmon. He covers all this weird technology back from then. It's fascinating.
I still feel sad that really with digital films now, with MP4s, MKVs, AVIs, in many ways, there's nowhere else for it to go. And we have talked about this before, but that's it. That's the last kind of because if we get a better quality film in the future, it might be a different format name, but it's still going to be a digital copy. And so but I mean, I like digital copies of films, and you can put them on a hard drive and back them up. And also, it's the great thing about digital is, yes, you don't get all the bonus features, you don't get the sleeves, which I really
but how
miss.
many times are you going to watch the bonus features? I mean, do you watch all
only
the bonus features?
No, I don't. Not often.
I might watch one or two, and then I move on.
And often the bonus features are then streamed on YouTube anyway. People rip them off, and you can watch them anyway.
That's true.
So really, but I do like. I mean, like I've got all the Doctor Who's, and I still do the artwork and stuff like that.
I will say
I miss that. I miss that.
I thought the Doctor Who extras are probably that and Stargate. And you probably got the best.
Oh God, the Stargate! Oh my God, the DVDs of the
That's
Stargate.
one thing I will miss.
Good. Yeah, I used to get Terror Rothery, I think name from
and General
Stargate.
Hammond,
and they used to come on every episode of Stargate. And this week, and it was really a bit cheesy the way they did it, but I loved that. I just thought it was really. I mean, that's one thing. But like I said, but then they could say, well, you can just look at it online, or you can pay to watch it. And it's like,
or you just go to Vimeo or Dailymotion and find it all on there.
It's strange. But just to say back to Critters, it was certainly a very good film. I'm really glad that they made it. I still think, regardless of what this guy says on here, I still think it was very influenced by.
Gremlins.
He's just refusing
you got this and Ghoulies, and I bet there's other versions out there of something.
Yeah,
which
and also
we have
this
not come across.
This came out in 1986. I think Gremlins came out in 1984. Come on, it's just 2 years later. It'd be exactly the perfect time.
They do. You get a mainstream movie, and then they make cheap.
And they make their own, and it is a copy. I'm sorry, it is heavily influenced by Gremlins, but in its defense, it's still a very enjoyable film. It's daft, it's cheesy, but yeah, it's a good film.
I don't think I'm going to go to Critters 5 though.
No, I mean I'm interested. So let's have a quick look at this fifth entry called Critters Attack. Critters Attack is a 2019, so it's really quite recent.
Well,
horror comedy.
That's recent.
Yeah. Reboot. It's a reboot, which is I hate the word reboot, of the 86 film Critters and the fifth entry in the Critters film franchise. Although the returning actress Dee Wallace was assumed to be portraying a new heroine distinct from the Helen Brown character, Wallace herself confirms she was reprising the original role. So Dee Wallace is back in it, with the name changed to Aunt Dee due to potential legal issues. Oh God. And it says the plot: while babysitting two teenagers, college student Drea discovers that the alien Christ have landed in the nearby forest. They soon receive help from mysterious Aunt Dee, who might have a history of the hungry intergalactic beasts. So, at least she's back in it from the original movie. I might try. I might give it a go at some point. I'm quite interested to see it, as it's a contemporary thing. But it's not going to be very good. by the sounds of it, because you and I never even heard of it.
No,
So I don't think
I knew they'd done. I thought they'd done 4 or 5 about 15 years ago. I didn't know they'd made only 20.
No, and this obviously wasn't big because it says the film was released onto DVD disc and digital viewing. Unlike the other Critters films, which have all been rated PG-13, this film was released as an unrated and standard R version due to having more blood and violence.
Right.
Film received mixed reviews. It received mixed reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Film holds an approval rating of 44%. Bloody Disgusting gave the film 2 out of 5 skulls, claiming that the 5th film suffers from bland cast characters, poor pacing, and more significantly, a lack of campy fun. Yeah, but that's a problem, isn't it? When you make these modern versions of films, they're going to lose some of that 80s cheese, which makes them endearing. You know, they can't really do it. No, I think we'll just stick with the original one or two, especially the first one.
The ones that I'd go as far as 2, and then after that, just bury it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because we're getting into the stage. Let's turn out and milk this for everything. If we can even screw a $5 out of people for it, let's do it. You know,
it's true.
But that's
true.
how it is, though, and the fucking milk everything, don't they? To a point where it's so bad, and it's so sad, and they come out with some like twist just to make it different, and it's terrible. Absolutely, and I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
You know, I
always do it. They said always do that. It is really bad, isn't it? Nothing ever particularly new comes out.
No.
But yeah. Well, like I said, there are some new things I'm watching, but yeah, it's strange, isn't it? How there's something lacking in Hollywood these days. Right. Well, I think that's about it for me for this review. Thank you, Martin. Any last words before we go into our news of the week?
No, that's it.
All right, mate. Well, that's great. Well, thank you for that. So let's go into our. I've got some. Yeah, we're going to talk about the new Star Trek episode Discovery. So yeah, let's go into that. Here we go.
Working.
So in the Sci-Fi
News.
All right. So this week, now, did we see the last Doctor Who last week? We did, didn't we? We've already talked about that. So we've already done that. So the only new thing I've seen this week is the episode 4 of Discovery. It's the one where Tilly and the Starfleet cadets crash on a planet and they've got to escape. And we've seen shuttles crash so many times on Star Trek, but they're often quite fun episodes. You know, Galileo 7 was an early one. Yes. What do you think of episode 4? What do you think of it?
Well, it was all right. I was more interested in the politics of the Federation president than her being stuck on a planet with them, because it's nothing I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
That was the lazy writing episode, basically.
One thing
it was all right, but how many episodes? We've had it in Voyager, we've had it in DS9, we've had it in the original series.
Let's test our knowledge. Now, let's think of episodes where a shuttlecraft has crashed. Galileo 7 crashed in the original series. There was an episode where a shuttle crashes with Troy, Riker, and O'Brien, and they get taken over by entities. That was an episode in Next Gen. Tom Paris and Neelix crashed a shuttle episode in Voyager. Enterprise Trip crashes a shuttle with an episode with a princess. And so we got this one now.
Yeah, there's DS9 as well. DS9.
Oh, a runabout crash with Bashir and O'Brien.
And there was another one with Cisco and is it Bashir?
Yes,
an awful woman made him work in the fields because she was running that agrarian society, and he found out he turned out.
No, that wasn't a shuttle crash. That was being down. That was where technology didn't work.
They didn't. I thought they crashed on that.
No, but they did. There's an episode with Benedict.
Because the shuttle was in. Yeah, you're right.
Kaya Parker in season 1 of DS9 crashes with Cisco, and she's at this episode where the people can't die, and she ends up left on the planet. That was a shuttle crash. And also,
she actually died recently.
Yeah, I saw that. Camille something. I can't remember her name.
She died recently.
Yeah, she died recently, and that was a shame because I always thought it was a shame that her character wasn't brought back. Because it was left open. Her last episode was in season 1. Now, wouldn't it have been interesting in, say, season 6 or 7 with Kai Wynn if Kaya Parker had come back and shaken up? Yeah. Now, why they didn't do that, I don't know. But I think that could have been a really interesting episode, and they never did. Maybe the actress
and
wasn't
put Kai
available.
Wynn in her place.
Yeah, and because it was split the whole thing because of course Kaya Parker was more respected and Kai Wynn was more of a opportunist looking for her own ends kind of thing.
Definitely.
And they never did that, which is quite interesting. But going back to Discovery, yeah, it was okay. I mean, one thing I keep saying is we need a lot more exterior shots of the ships. We hardly ever see, like, you know, like all the other Star Treks, you always had the recycled, like the Enterprise orbiting a planet or the same shot of the warp going to warp. You hardly ever see the ships in space. I don't know why they do it like that, but I'm quite a ship guy, and you only see like 1 or 2 shots of Discovery per episode, which I don't know why, but I'd like to see more exterior shots in space.
I mean, it wasn't a bad episode. I mean,
It was all right. It was fine.
It's all right, but
It was okay.
you know, watching telly on the planet with them whinging. What is it? It's all like, you know, they're trying to get into the thing where she's trying to show them how to all work together and all this. And
So do you think?
I've seen it all before.
But do you think the actress? I mean, I know she's coming back, but it looks like the actress who plays Tilly is pretty much not going to be a sort of main role so much in the.
Well,
forthcoming
she's
episodes.
going to be involved teaching them all. And she's going to come into some conspiracy with that president.
Now, I see a Trek fan this week who said, or somebody said that there's potentially the idea that Tilly could get her own spin-off series of the Starfleet Academy. No, but you know Starfleet Academy, that's been mooted since 1987 with Harv Bennett, and they keep talking about doing a. So
Do you want Academy? Do you want it?
Not particularly. I would watch it.
Lot of super good-looking teenagers, and they've all got.
Well,
problems,
it's
and they're all like-
I'm not particularly a teen. It was like.
Well, all right. It'd be like middle-aged, like really super good-looking people, all joining Starfleet Command, being trained, and then they'll have problems like they do in Buffy and all that, and then they deal with a situation, but in the background there'll be a villain in the background up to something.
I don't know.
And then there's love affairs, and then you know, and I don't really want that. I couldn't care less about Starfleet Academy, but if they make it, I will watch it.
Of course you will. We all will. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, all right. So would you rather see that than the Section 31 series? Let's ask you that.
I've got to admit, I'm curious about. I'm a big fan of Michelle Yeoh, so I'd be curious about it.
So you'd rather see that for the moment.
But I think they're very limited to what they can do with it. You know, it's only how far can you go with that.
Well, it's just about learning to be in Starfleet. I mean, but like the Section 31 series, it's all going to be about undercover with other operatives fighting the evil dark threats. You know what I mean? Do you think the David Cronenberg character in Discovery is like the head of Section 31 or something like that? Because he's very mysterious, isn't he? I can't remember his name.
Yeah, there's some connection. There is some connection, but it's all a bit pointless watching Star Trek now because we know the future.
Well, no, we don't now because it's finally in the future, isn't it? I mean, obviously, David Cronenberg's character is in the 31st century.
This new century they're in, it's set after the Temporal War, isn't it?
Yeah, that was the 29th.
Yeah, I think it is after the Temporal War, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know.
Which is good.
I'm up for it. Look, as long as we're getting more Star Trek, the one I'm interested in is Strange New Worlds.
Haven't heard jack shit from that for ages.
I know they've wrapped up filming and all.
Yeah, that's all I've heard. That was about 3 or 4 months ago.
But I've got some big news for you on this show today.
Ooh, please share it. Come on, I want to hear.
Orville's back on March 22nd next year.
Yeah, I did know that actually, and that's great. No, it's been talked about for a while because Egotastic Fun Time, who's on YouTube, I'm a big fan of. He said that, but that's really good. I can't wait to see that because that's been a long wait for that one. I think it's going to be 10 episodes, and they're going to be hour and 20-minute episodes each or something. But they still don't know yet whether it's going to be renewed for a 4th season. Some people are saying it's not going to be. But they don't know. It might be too long a wait.
I'm a bit worried with Orville because it's been 2 years now since we...
since the last season 2.
Since the last season. And I felt when it started, it was, for me, it was on the head.
Yeah.
it were better than Star Trek. It was just right. Everything I wanted in a series.
Yeah, it's
that
better
were
than contemporary
perfect.
Star Trek. It's better than
And
contemporary Star Trek.
It became a bit more than a series. It became quite personal to me. I loved the characters, and I really grew with it. And there was a whole universe opening up here.
But it's lost its momentum.
Universe.
It's such a long gap that it's lost its momentum. It's lost the build.
Well, that's what I'm worried about. I'm also worried about I'm
Too
going to
long.
lose my connection. And plus, hang on.
Uh-oh. Whooper. Uh-oh, look at this. We're live.
Yeah, my wire dropped out of my microphone.
That's all right, God. That's no problem.
No, but I'm worried about that. You know, the people, like, you're connected to them. Well, that is it going to be the same? Is the momentum? Is it all going to be the same, or is it just? And we're going to watch it and think, oh God, this is terrible. I hope not. I hope that
I
when
think
that's there, so much magic there.
I think it's going to be great because
I
season
hope so.
2 had the Isaac race, who obviously were evil and they were going to destroy the universe, who flared up, and that was at the end we had an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
And all the people who made the first 2 seasons are involved. It's not like a complete reimagining like they've done with Discovery.
I hope not.
I would be surprised if it flops. I think it's going to be really good. I just hope it's not
I
going to be
think, you know, out of everything, this is the one I'm really waiting for. You
Me,
know,
well,
this is it for me.
the big ones for me are. I am looking forward to Big Book of Boba Fett, big time.
Oh,
I
definitely.
cannot wait for Obi-Wan Kenobi, the
But
Orville,
I put
and
the
Strange New
Orville.
Worlds.
To me, the Orville's up at the same level as the Mando.
Yeah,
To me,
I could see
and
that.
that's
I
a big-
think so.
That's a big climb.
I think I agree because it was so solid, especially both seasons, especially the second season.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's really up there, and it's higher than Discovery. I have to say. Sorry,
Yeah.
it's higher than Discovery.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Right. So it's just equality.
And I'm worried with your fears that you just talked about with the Orville season 3. I have fears with Strange New Worlds that it's not going to be very good. I'm really worried that the build-up we had for Discovery, and I'm not saying it has really improved. It has improved. But when we first, I'm worried about that.
I have to say this season. I know we're 4 episodes in, but I have to say what I'm going to say. Since they made her captain, I'm actually starting to warm to
She's
her
a
character.
great captain. Her character's so
And
different.
I just think it works for her as well.
She's really. I think also.
I couldn't stand her in last series, and second series, I was sort of in and out with her. I found first series interesting.
Being the one that's,
again, this is her journey, isn't it, to the big chair. So this is, I suppose, this is all part of the story. So I think if we get another season, I think she's going to really shine. I'll admit, I don't mind her now.
No, and I think the whole series of Discovery, it's just not really what I was expecting when it came out.
No.
And I think that they have really tried to course correct the whole show to be a bit more palatable to us long-term fans, as well as enjoyable for newer fans. And I think for the majority, not in some ways, but I think they have succeeded quite well so far.
Yeah.
And I'm very pleased to say that. And I really look forward to the new episodes. The last 2, which were a bit more fillers, but I don't mind that. I don't mind a show where you have episodes to focus on the characters and build up. And all the other series have done that, and it's done very well so far. So let's see. I think next week's going to be more of an action-packed story. I've seen a trailer for it. It looks quite good. Bring it on. I'm really enjoying it. Let's just see how it goes.
I mean, I'll see it tomorrow, and I've enjoyed it. Last week was a bit of I was more interested in the political side of it all, because I think Tilly's going to go to Starfleet Academy. There's going to be something dodgy going on there.
Yeah, she's going to come
it's
back.
Connected to her.
Yeah.
And I mean, this could all be wrong. The Admiral's going to team up with the Vulcan president towards the end. I agree with you. There's going to be some standoff between Starfleet and another part of it over some situation. I think
some
that
internal
race
disputes.
That race they woke up, I think they're not what we think they are. They're coming back, and they're not going to be nice.
And they're keeping it quiet. They're hoping you're going to forget about it, and then it's like,
this is
they've
all
woken up.
prediction
That's
from
what
me.
I think. Yeah, that's what I think. But you know, I seem to think quite similarly about this idea.
I just think that she will be forced out of the presidency. She's going to make a move because it's just certain things like when she said to him, you know, will I get just, you know, when that Starfleet officer got murdered, and she said, what about justice for his family?
Yeah.
You know, and she sacrificed like that to please the Vulcans, and she's desperate to get them on board. Yeah. But the Vulcan woman, now I think the Vulcan president, she's the Navarre president. She's quite an honourable person. I've got a feeling.
I think she's going to be
she's going to become president or that.
Yeah. I could see that, and that'd be a way of unifying the Federation because Vulcan or Navarre is such an important presence of the Federation. The other
definitely
pre-Federation worlds, we see that Navarre, because it's not only Vulcan, it's Romulus as well. Because if they're back together, then that's going to be huge. That'd be a major part of the quadrant. Will be then Federation based again.
Definitely, because Vulcan with Earth was the heart of the Federation with Andor and Teller.
And of course, because the thing is at the moment, although they haven't been explained it, if Navarre is Romulus and Vulcan together, that's a major part of the actual of the Milky Way or the Alpha Quadrant races. So if they both join the Federation, then that means Romulans are now Federation members. It's just that they've got the new name. That's quite a big thing.
Yeah, I just think when I look at her, I think who's president of Vulcan Navarre.
They have got to
bring
looks
back like a Federation president to me. She looks like she could be the president. Not the other woman. She's too. I don't know. There's something going on with her in the background, and I think we're getting. I think the storylines are being set now. They're being implanted. I think Tilly's going to come across some conspiracy at Starfleet Command, and he's appeared. That David Cronenberg guy, him as well. He was the one that's trying
to get her to join the actual.
There's something going on. And I think there's going to be a standoff. I totally agree with you, what you said. There's a standoff coming, but not so.
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. They haven't yet confirmed. I think somebody said it's 13 episodes this season, but I don't know if that's been confirmed how many episodes there are this season.
Right, I thought there were 15.
Oh, you might be right. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because why is she fascinated? I mean, another thing that with that Federation president, she's fascinated by, the captain at Discovery. I forgot what's the name now.
What, Michael
Burnham. And she's always wanting.
She has been always evaluated. So maybe there's something more to why she's.
That's
so
what I mean. And she said when you turned up, we all resented you because you were going on, with your hope and you.
Because that's how it used to be in the Federation of old.
Yeah, and a lot of people resented them for that. And I think there's something in that is where your answer. Discovery were very clever because in first season, when I sat and rewatched the first season again, with Lorca's character, when he turns up in his episode, at the end of his episode. There's a scene, and it goes on for about 5 or 6 seconds. He looks at himself in the mirror.
Yes,
like
you mentioned that.
And
before.
I never noticed that before. Because first time I never thought where it were going. And then I saw that 6-second clip, and I thought they've put everything that's going to happen in this season in that 6-second moment.
And you just got to notice it, but but you only really would realise it once you rewatched it.
Yeah,
you see, that's the clever thing.
And I thought
analogy of the mirror universe.
And that was the biggest giveaway. But watching it, I never thought. Now, I maybe I'm a bit overanalyzing, but I'm trying to find. I think in a lot of TV programs they put the answer in right at the beginning, but it's there in front of you for about 3 seconds. And if you pick up on it, you're gonna put. It's like the Rosetta Stone for the whole thing.
Most people don't. That's what I'm saying. But as you say, a lot of shows.
But it's that president. She's going to be one of the big villains in this season. I could be wrong, and I'll probably get shot down. But it's just how she's fascinated with it. It's like the other week she tried belittling her as well. Mm-hmm. And when she
intimidating her.
Yeah, and then she opened her mouth. Why did at that conference said, look, why did Starfleet officers we have a tribunal thing? why don't you do that with membership? And it was like she wanted her there for a reason, yet she was against that and for it. There's something going on.
Absolutely.
And I think David Cronenberg's character, Tilly going to the academy, that president, and the rebels is going to be that Vulcan president is going to become one of the big leading. We're standing against the Federation in this series. There's something going on.
I can see that. It should be. Let's hope they don't mess it up. Like I said,
no,
you never know how they're going to do it. I mean, like I said with the Doctor Who.
No, well, we did every week. We were for 5 weeks. We were quite positive about it. We were, and then we got the WTF
like I said before,
moment.
It's on hold. It's going to happen, but you're going to have to.
Well, it's one chapter of a bigger story, isn't it?
Yeah, and basically, like I said, the three specials which are done. They're all made literally during the season 13 production. They've just been put on. It's just literally a gap. So it's just basically, it's like you've watched this episode. It's like a mid-season point.
That's
mid-season
what I've
pause.
tried to put it down.
That's where it is. It's a mid-season pause, and that's what's frustrating because they can't give all the answers until next year when they've released the other three. That's the way I see it. So although it's it's still part of the same thing. So what other news have I got? I saw something that you might be interested in actually. Gotham Knights. The CW is developing another Batman spin-off. Have you heard about that?
Another one. Well, I saw Gotham, what they made a couple of years ago. I saw some. I think I only watched about one season of it, and I just forgot about it. Quite enjoyable. It's if it's CW, I'm open to it. I like the new Superman. I've got to admit, I'm quite impressed with that.
Oh, I saw an advert for that. I mean, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not.
I have to say, I'm quite impressed. I'm very impressed with that.
Brilliant.
It's much darker. I watched Titans last night, which is like I say, it's a sister series to Doom Patrol. I do recommend you should watch Doom Patrol.
One of those things I mean to get around to seeing.
Weird. I mean, you know, they pull a whole town out of a donkey's head. It's that bonkers. And Timothy Dalton is insane in it. He is brilliant. Yeah, there's a whole big star cast in it. Brendan
I'll tell you
Fraser.
What, if you watch Doom Patrol, then you've got to watch Russian Doll. That's the one I recommend.
Well, that's a bit of a challenge, isn't it? Is there no way I can squirm my way out of this thing?
Should I? Well, I don't know. I mean, it's like.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
We can do that. Maybe the new year or something. We can do that.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. I'll look into it.
Russian
Doll.
Russian Doll, I enjoyed.
Yeah.
If you like, if you like the sort of Groundhog Day kind of scenario, time looping thing, then that's what it's about. But I thought it was quite solid.
Okay, yeah, that sounds a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, okay. We'll try if we remember.
All right.
We'll probably forget.
We'll go into that in January then.
We will probably forget, but if we remind each other,
all right.
Doom Patrol and Russian Doll. That's what I've recommend. That's it for news. I haven't got anything else major this week.
No, that's it.
There's been a couple of short Boba Fett trailers, but they're really not giving much away about this new show. What's going to happen with that? I think there's going to be a lot of stuff. I've heard some gossip. Apparently, somebody says that they saw Baby Yoda, Grogu, in a scene from this new show. So whether the Mandalorian is going to make a crossover in Boba Fett, which I think could happen, I don't know. But it's all rumours. But they really are keeping production very sealed, and we don't know what's going on. What else I hear? No, that's about it. Nothing much. Not a lot this week.
Oh yeah, and I have to say, I've got a podcast. Have you seen Cobra Kai yet?
No, I've not seen Cobra Kai at all.
Yeah, give it a go. The new series, all of it's out on New Year's Eve. Actually. That's me started for the new year.
Are you watching the new Marvel thing? What's it called? Hawk, what it's called?
I've seen first 2 episodes. I'm building them up. I think final episodes next week. I think.
How many episodes are there? Is it not many?
6. They showed 2 on its opening week. It's been panned actually, but I did watch 2 and I thought it's not too bad. But he's like the shit. He's like the shit superhero, and all he can do is find a bow and arrow. I mean,
he was always a bit in the background, wasn't he? It's not like Loki was.
Never ran out of bows and arrows, did he? You know, he just seemed to have an infinite supply of them. You know.
Dear.
But we prevail. It looked all right. So I'm going to watch that over Christmas.
Well, I'll probably be watching some more Brookside over Christmas. And if you're interested, we have some T-shirts which you can buy off YouTube, off Any sci-fi, only 400 quid per copy of it. Predator versus Brookside. I'm sorry, I'm not going to keep going about Brookside, but it's just when you watch as much as I have, which is really sad.
If you want to do if you want to do a solo one sci-fi special on Brookside,
we'll do it in the year. In the year, we will.
Brookside is part of culture and pop culture. It's got a big fan base.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm
they
surprised
have Brookside conventions and all that. So
do they? I didn't know they had that.
I think
That's
so.
quite
Yeah.
interesting.
I know they have off-feed the same pet convention. I've never.
Yeah, I know about Alvida St. Pet because that's a classic. But I didn't know that Brookside had.
There's a massive fan base for Brookside. I've read the comments on after episodes, and people adore it. And
I'm not surprised.
It was the best soap opera out of all of them. I watched it, so.
I love it. It's so good. But I'm surprised it's not out there like you can buy it. But there's so many episodes, isn't there? There's 3,000 episodes. That's what, and all the ones I'm watching are VHS recordings from 30 years ago.
I did a couple of years ago. I watched it. You remember Crossroads from 70s?
Oh, damn, yeah.
One I watched for about a week, and with Sandy and David Hunter and all that in the hotel. And I watched sets and Miss Diane. I watched about 40 episodes.
There's
I quite enjoyed it.
There's a community centre I drop off once a week to, and there's a guy in there, and I do nickname him Benny. I just do. It just reminds me of Benny. And one of these days, I'm going to say, "All right, Benny, how you doing?"
He invested all his money into these like leisure centres or something.
Did he?
Well, he did. I think he owned a chain of them. You remember? Yeah, they were like days you take your kids out there, and they had them ball things in there and all that. It were like you take your kids. It were like they had things in there, And well, he had a chain of them, but I think they went under.
Oh,
I think so. Yeah. And then he tried getting back into New Crossroads, but they didn't bring him back.
It's funny how sometimes it doesn't happen for people who've been in, like when they reboot it or they remake it or they restart it, doesn't always work out. It's the same with Doctor Who that they've always said that the BBC, people say, why didn't you bring back some more of the old companions? And they got Sarah Jane back, but I would have loved to have seen some of the old companions from all they never do that. They only did Sarah Jane. Oh no, we saw what's her name from the John Pertwee years? She was in Joe was in it one episode, but that's all we've had. And Doctor Who's been on for 16 years now since it's come back. So but they just don't seem to want to. But they should respect its legacy. That's what I think is important.
As long as they don't bring Matthew Waterhouse back, I hated his character.
Oh, poor Andrew.
That's it. I'm sorry. I fucking hated that trick.
So did you laugh when he died?
Now that's a nasty question to ask.
He's gone!
It's a thing that I would have got off on him dying in Doctor Who. I did. Did you see the extra on the video on the DVD? Did you see the extra?
What happened on the extra?
At the end on the actual episode where he died on the DVD it was released. Yeah. They did a 5-minute short. He survived.
Oh, actually, no, I remember something about that.
Yeah, he survived, right?
Yeah.
He ended up in dinosaur period, and he crashed, and he's walking about, and this dinosaur came and ate him. Cyberman headset goes, excellent.
I'd forgotten it until you said, but now that's
You're
coming
probably
back.
saying it.
Yeah, it must have been a long time ago, but I seem to vaguely remember something about that.
I just hated him.
I know you did. I know.
Right. Didn't like Taylor either.
Right, in February. I know we're planning ahead. We've got to do a 5th Doctor special. Well, not special episode. We've not done the 5th Doctor yet, and that's my era.
Cover him. We're gonna have to talk about him.
That's why
I met him once. Horrible.
You said he was a miserable sod.
He was, yes. Bloody what?
But I saw it when I met Dominic Keating in Malcolm Reed, and the guy was just like his character on Enterprise, and he came across as not particularly pleasant. He wasn't nasty, but he.
I haven't met Dominic. I've not.
No, I mean the nicest one I met was Denise Crosby, who was absolutely lovely. I met her and chatted to her for a while. She was really nice. She was just a person who just loved being associated with Star Trek. And, I know that deep down she regrets that she left when she did in the first season. But, I definitely thought Denise Crosby was really nice, and so did Anthony Montgomery, Paul Stamets from Discovery.
Like
I met him. He was really nice guy. The actor in real life, he was really nice. He even let us take a picture with my daughter with him, and he was just a really nice guy. So
that's cool.
It's funny how, nice guy, and I like his character on Discovery as well. I think he's done really good. So good up to him. All right, mate. Well, this is it. Now we're going to have what we're doing next week. We're doing I'll Be the Same Pet, which is a show we recorded ages ago. And then, so this is it for Christmas for us. We will also try and do a Merry Christmas thing on Christmas Day or something, which we'll do next week, Martin, if we can get the chance. So thank you for another year of some wonderful shows that we've talked about. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, we've come so far, and I can't believe that we're getting close to 100 episodes. That's fantastic. You know, I never thought we'd get that far. We've talked about so many films and TV shows, it's been a real pleasure so far to have you as my co-host. You've always stuck by me. We've also had some great co-hosts as well, guest co-hosts, and thoroughly enjoyed it.
Get them all on, or just some video recording.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're hoping, and I have contacted Trek Fan, and he said that he's hopefully going to be joining us for episode 100, which should be filmed in about a month's time. It should go out in early Feb. So hopefully he could join us, because he's been a very big supporter of the show, and we have our thanks to give him for that. So on that note, we were going to finish, because we keep mentioning it, Brookside one more time. This is Julia Brogan, who is a nosy old neighbour on the show. I don't know, I came across this when I was watching episodes. I thought it was funny, and I thought, what a way to finish the show for 2021, at least the ones in production order from when we're doing this. So Martin, thank you very much. We will see you next week, and then we'll be back in 2022 with I think we're doing Lost in Space. So Martin, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Live long and prosper.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. You're very kind.